Hi, today I am here doing the info dump tag. Now I was tagged by Books and Chocaholic, who is the creator of this tag. So I will link their original tag down below. And there are quite a few questions, so I don't know how very planned I should have been. I'm not very planned. I've done some small market research because I knew I was sat down here today and decided that if I didn't have my laptop so I could do proper research, then I needed to know the information. So I'm getting better at doing tags. I actually get prepared now, which is great. So I'm going to ask the questions and answer them, and we're just going to see how it goes, won't we? So, how many books on average do you read per month? That varies dramatically. It varies dramatically based on the size of the book, the mood I'm in. This is not really the answer anyone wanted. They wanted an actual answer. I'd say approximately between 8 and 10. It will be a hell of a lot more if I'm doing readathons or anything like that. When I do like a 24-hour readathon, I get a hell of a lot more done. But majority of the time, it's somewhere between 8 and 10 books. So that is my answer. That's what I'm sticking with. And I feel like I've not once read 8 to 10 books like in my month. I've either done extremely more or extremely little. Question 2. How many books are on your TBR? I don't want to answer this one. Okay, but you can't judge, okay? Do not judge me. I did a count because I've just made like a little statistics spreadsheet of my books, read books, TBR books. And on my TBR, I have 404 books. And that's just owned books. Like, I have a hell of a massive TBR of books that I don't own yet. But the ones that I own, I have 404. I feel like I'm going to get attacked for having so many books and not reading them. Question 3. How are books organised on your shelves? Now, I have an entire video dedicated to me reorganising my bookshelves, so check that video out. I will link it in one of the taggy things, wherever they are right now. And I will link that in, so check it out. But for anyone that really can't be bothered doing that, I organise them in size order, and then basically my middle shelf was cute. They was all the same size, so I organised them by colour because I'm very much a visual person. Stuff like colour is beautiful to me. So because they was all on the same like height, same size, it made no difference what order they went in. So I decided to organise them by colour to make it more aesthetically pleasing to me. So yeah, I did that. If you actually want to go see my struggle doing all of that, then please check out the video. It'll be quite fun. Question 4. What genre do you read the most from? Thrillers. That's it. I read the most thrillers. I read YA, but nowhere near as much as thriller. I am a big YA lover, so I read a lot of YA, but when it comes to thrillers, they are my books. And I don't really read anything else unless I'm kind of trying to expand, which I am. I do delve into things every now and again, but I read thrillers. Question 5. What genres do you own the most of? Thrillers. I don't even know how many thrillers I own. I own so many James Patterson books, and the majority of them are thrillers. I just don't even know. I own too many. I own too many thrillers. I own no YA in comparison to how many thrillers I own. So, thrillers. Question 6. What is your preferred form of reading? Physical books, audiobooks, ebooks, stuff like that. Physical. I hate ebooks because I get really bad headaches. I can't focus for long. Reading on my phone or on a Kindle just hurts. I can read for a short period of time and then I have to stop, and then I don't really want to go back to it because I know that I'm going to get a headache from doing it. And then audiobooks, I'm a very visual person, as I've said, so listening doesn't really work. I'm very much the type of person that'll sit there, stare in your face, listen to an entire conversation and not remember a single thing you've said. So audiobooks are not really for me. I've been trying them. I've enjoyed a couple, but I don't really prefer them. I'm definitely Definitely. I am definitely a physical book person. So, why do I always end every question saying, so? Yeah, I'm a physical book person. End of. Question 7. Who is your most owned author? Can anyone guess before I tell you? I love James Patterson. I own so many James Patterson books. He has over 320 books now. I haven't done a big massive count since like the last time I did a big massive count. So it's been a while. It's been like a good month or two, and he usually whips out about 12 books a month or something. He's very weird. But I actually wrote the number down because I'm that much of a nerd. I counted. I own 206 James Patterson books. Yeah. I'm a bit obsessed. How many have I read, you ask? I'm not answering that question. Question 8. Describe your favourite writing style. I don't really pay that much attention to writing styles. I just either enjoy it or I don't. I don't really look into correlations to the type of things I enjoy. One of the things I will admit I do enjoy, because I mention it every time I read a book and get stressed out, is I love short chapters. James Patterson, again, is a master. He has very short chapters. I love them. Other books, and I know it's quite prominent in fantasy books, they have chapters of about 20 or 30 plus pages. I can't be handling that because I, majority of the time, read right before bed when I'm really tired. I just think I'll just get a couple of chapters in, and if it's like 20 or 30 pages, I can't dedicate my time to that because I don't know if I'm going to handle it. Whereas if it's short chapters, I could probably read about 50 pages in short chapters because I know they're very short, they're very like quick and easy, and I could just stop whenever I want. Whereas if it's long, you have to commit, and I can't be bothered committing to something unless I'm really in the mood. Like if I'm really into it and it's the middle of the day and I'm not tired and blah blah blah, I can do that many long chapters, so they don't bother me that much, but I prefer short chapters. Other than that, I don't really know. It's just a case of I read a book and I like it or I don't. And if the writing style is partly to do with that, that's just how it is. There's nothing I like or don't like. I don't like the old way of things being written. Just, yeah. Okay, question 9. Which literary devices do you like or dislike? I really like multiple point of views. I really do like them in books. Not too many, like when you've got like 8 or 9 characters, I hate that. But when it's like 2 or 3 characters, I can handle it, and I think it's quite fun because it gives you a really different perspective on a journey you've been following, and sometimes it can also change things. Like I know because I read a lot of thrillers, you go so far thinking this certain way, and then you get like a POV from the villain or something like that, and it just basically takes everything you thought you knew and goes, haha, you were wrong. And I love stuff like that. I'm a big fan of stuff like that. So yeah, I do like multiple POVs as long as they are like probably a maximum of three, because I just think if you get too many, you start thinking I don't know whose I'm reading now, and it just gets really confusing. So yeah. Also, I do kind of like a bit of a mixed format. I don't love it, but I do think it's quite a refreshing change, you know, when things are in diary entries or news articles or in text messages in books, because it does kind of break it up a bit and it makes it quite easy for you to read that, because sometimes it can be like a page which is a diary entry and you'll get through that a hell of a lot quicker than you would a normal page. Like, I don't like reading it in every single book I read, but I could read a book purely like that, but then I'd have to go back to a normal book. You see what I'm saying? I can't constantly read a book that way, but every now and again it's quite fun to have that change up, because it just makes it more refreshing to read. So yeah, I like those. What character archetypes do you enjoy? I love a sarcastic character. I love a funny character, because like I said, I've said it too many times, I'm sorry. I read a lot of thrillers. I read a lot of serious books and dark books, and having that comic relief character in there, but not comic relief as in stupid, because I hate them, but comic relief as in quite humorous and sarcastic or witty and things like that, I love it. I'm all for it. It's hilarious. I'm a comedic person myself, so I can really relate to those characters, and they're great. And then other than that, I love a character who points out the logic in things. Like a character who the plot's going on and the character's kind of sat there like, that's a bit dramatic. Can you not just do this instead? And everyone's just kind of there like, oh, well, maybe. You know, like those kind of people. Like, I love them characters because it's so funny just pointing out the logic in a story. Because there's so many times as a reader, I sit there and go, well, why do you have to do this big convoluted plan? Why don't you just do this? And I love characters that point that out, and it's really funny, and it's great. One character in particular, which I've only recently been introduced to, is Clary Frey from the Mortal Instruments. I think she's very much a character to point out when someone is chatting shit or when someone is being dramatic. She's definitely the person to call them out on it, and I love it. And I've only actually read one of the books, and already I love her for that. And I really hope that kind of character work continues, and I hope she can develop into like more of a character that does stuff like that. And I love that. That is one of the best character traits ever. Question 11. What are your favourite bookish settings? I don't really care. Like, I do like, it's not a specific setting, but I do like when the characters are kind of isolated from other people. So like, for example, And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, and they're all isolated on an island, they can't get help. Or if they're at a camp, like thinking of YA here, if they're at a camp away from parents and things, just because so many times in books, a lot of problems could be avoided if you just spoke to somebody. Like if you rang the police instead of trying to figure something out yourself, or if you told your parents what was going on. And it annoys me, things like that, because again, I'm a very logical, stop being a muppet person, and taking that access away, taking that ability to get help away, I love that. So thinking of And Then There Were None, they're stranded on an island with no way to contact the outside world. And that was just such a really amazing, unique setting, because there was nothing they can do. They just had to sit and wait to die. And I loved it. And I thought it was so fun, so unique. Fun, that's not the right word. But so unique and clever of Agatha Christie to come up with something like that. So I love that type of setting. I also like books set in like real locations that I've been to. So places like London, I love London. I go to London frequently. I say that, I haven't been for like 3 years, but I went to London like 4 times in a 2-year period for holidays, just because I love it so much. And it's a place where I want to repeatedly go back to. It's a place maybe I eventually want to live. Like, I don't know. I've not really planned out my future that much yet, but it's a potential. I love it so much, and it's a great place. So because I know so much about London, reading books with characters or reading books set in London, I'm like, right, I recognise this place. Oh, you mentioned this monument, or you mentioned this street, I know that. And they take the tube and they mention what the tube line is. I'm like, right, well, I know exactly what stops that goes to. Stuff like that's great. I don't know New York as well, but I've been to New York, so if you point out anything major in New York, I know where it is, I know what it looks like, because I've been and I've experienced it. So I love those settings as well, where I can really envision it, because I know, because I've been there myself. Now, the last question is, what is your favourite romantic plot? Oh wait. The last question is, what is your favourite romantic or plot tropes? I've written so many notes down for this last one. I wrote a lot of things down and then realised that they aren't tropes. Like, I wrote the platonic friend and the off-limits relationship that stays off-limits. Like, they're not tropes, they are reverse tropes. They are things that go against tropes. Like, the friends to lovers, nope, we're just platonic. The off limits, but we have to have each other, nope, off limits. I love those, and I realise they are not actually tropes, they are anti-tropes. And they're my favourite. I love when you get a trope and then change it up because it's unique and it's fun that way. But I love taking a trope like insta-love, but change it. So it's not insta-love, it's actually maybe like insta-hate. I can deal with that. Love triangles, but it's not really a love triangle. It's basically a relationship and then a third wheel saying, but I want to love you too. And everyone's like, nah, man, that I can deal with. Just platonic friendships. Basically, I love reverse tropes. I love tropes that are not really tropes. You take the trope, you flip it. That's how it goes. And yeah, they're my all-time romantic tropes. The ones where it's not a cliche. I also really like the trope where the villain is actually a human. Like, they're not cold-hearted and feel nothing. They do have feelings and emotions, and it comes across because it makes it so hard to hate them. And again, I know I'm talking the Mortal Instruments, but I've just recently read that book. I'm still on a book high. In the first book, because that is all I know, Valentine is very human. Like everyone always says about him, you can say whatever you want, but you have to admit he will only kill someone if they deserve it. He doesn't just go around killing everyone. He got really upset when he found out his friend had died. He felt betrayed. Like, villains who have emotions, villains who are human, I love that because it makes it so hard to hate them, and it makes them, I know they're a villain, you're not meant to like them, but it makes them more likable as a character. And I don't really know what my point of that is, but I love villains where they're not just closed off to emotion and you hate them and they don't feel anything. Like thinking of someone like Voldemort, he killed people just for the hell of it. Like, he had no emotion, nothing bothered him, he was just pure villainous evil. And that was it. And there was nothing more to it. It gives them more of a layer if there's something there. And if there's more human emotions and there's more depth to the character, it just makes them so much more compelling. Like, I really want to know more about them. I also like a grey area trope. Again, I don't know if it's a trope, but it's definitely like a character trope where a character's not morally good or bad or anything like that. Where it's very much a grey area, whether they're good or bad. They do bad things for good reasons. They do good things for bad reasons. Characters that are not perfect and are not really bad. I like the grey area characters, and I think that's a very good trope. If it's a trope, if it's not a trope, I'm making it a trope. I said trope too many times. But yeah, there we go. So, those are my answers to the info dump tag. Sorry, it was a hot mess. I actually wrote notes and I still made it a hot mess. So, now I'm going to tag people. So I'm going to tag Brooke from Brooke's Books because I kind of make it my mission to tag her in so many things because it stresses her out because she then actually has to film them. And it's quite fun. I am also going to tag Jade from Paperback to Hardback, who is new to BookTube, so show her the support. Show everyone the support. Let's not be silly. Get on everyone. Follow them. Subscribe. Like. Do everything. Watch all of these videos. Everyone is amazing. But I'm tagging Jade because why not give her a tag to do when she's recently starting out? I'm going to tag Mel from a book fiend named Mel. Mel tagged me in the unpopular opinions tag, so I'm returning the favour. Go and do the tag, guys. Make sure you do it. And when you've done it, make sure I watch it. So, that is all from me. Hopefully it made sense. If not, well, that's just my life. It gives you an insight into what my head sounds like. And that is it from me. So make sure you click the subscribe button and click the bell so you're always notified to when I post. Other than that, I post every Monday, Wednesday and Saturday. So until next time, I will see you later.